horse sense of the guy.
You know what? This is crap. We're going to stop this.
I can't stand it. Run it again. Huddle up and run it again.
We're rolling now.
I think so.
Microphones are on.
Marker 8, 10, go.
The Aggies.
Merrill for the lead. He's got it!
The Jazz.
Stopped him. Open three.
The high schools.
Waffle's going to take it on the quarterback draw. He's to the 30, the 25, makes a move to the 20, 15, 10, 5. He's into the end zone.
If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it.
Number 4 of my best non-sports sports. Wife carrying.
I beg your pardon?
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Ajay Salvesen.
Because what you're really saying when you're using all this blabberish is, Ajay, you were right and I was wrong. That's what I'm hearing from you.
106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan, 106onthefan.com, and on our mobile app as well, which is free. However, wherever you're joining us, thanks for doing so. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, middle of the week. Eric, hi. You okay today? I mean, you've been scrambling like crazy, though. I mean, you got cars at different places. Quidditch is hitting you up.
You know, it's good to be busy, right? It means things are happening.
Well, yeah, it is, but you don't want to spend it is. I mean, I get what you're saying. You don't want to spend long hours here, though. You got to go home, you know? Say hi to your friends.
My friends are here.
Okay. Kiss up. Cool.
No, look, what's exciting and part of the reason why we're running around, and Ajay has been shuttling me around a little bit. Well, that was yesterday.
Yeah. I was going to do it today, but I had something come up.
No, it's fine. It's all good. No, but we're covering spring sports. Like, we have a baseball game on the radio right now.
Yeah.
And KVNU long ago used to have baseball games, local baseball games. But it's been a long time since a local baseball game has been on the radio. And so it's happening as we speak right now on 104.5 The Ranch. But if you want to watch the game, just go to CashValleyDaily.com. It's Ridgeline versus Logan, game being played there in Millville. They've spent a lot of money and time and energy renovating that field out at Ridgeline, and it's your first look if you haven't been able to be there yet. And Ridgeline taking on Logan right now. So it's one of the few times where we might encourage you to change the dial if you want, but we'd always invite you to come back. But Dave Simmons and Nick Zollinger calling the play-by-play, and we're going to be doing a lot of these. So we have the calendar put together. It's available to view right now on CashValleyDaily.com. Just go to the menu. I got to make sure I walk you through this properly, so I'm going to pull it up as we speak. So there's the menu button. There's a sports in the menu, and if you hover over local prep sports, there's a link there to spring sports schedule, and you'll see all the events that we're going to go to and that we're going to be covering live on the radio and streaming on Cache Valley Daily. So really looking forward to being able to do that and provide extra looks at what's going on and attention and visibility for what's going on with our local sports.
Tomorrow we'll have Green Canyon hosting Mountain Crest and boys soccer. That'll be at 7 p.m. and on 100.9 Light FM with John Newble and AJ Knight. Then on April 1st, Mountain Crest will be hosting Woods Cross and boys lacrosse at 7 p.m. Same station with AJ Knight. And then we'll get back with softball with Bear River and Sky Ridge. That'll be at Salt Lake Community College at 3:30. Rod Zundel will be on the call on 104.9 The Ranch with, again, Rod Zundel. And we'll just continue out throughout the rest of the spring. Again, you can find the schedule on CashValleyDaily.com. Our text line is also open for you, 435-339-0321. Guild Mortgage, again, great sponsor of the Full Court Press. Hey, if you got a mortgage, or if you want to get your mortgage taken care of the right way, done the right way, go to Karen Nielsen and her team. And they do a great job with Guild Mortgage. They'll get you taken care of and done the right way. Again, 435-339-0321. A text into our Guild Mortgage text line. 9315 text in. So is Ajay saying that he doesn't have any friends at the radio station? Sounds like a thing he has had happen before at other state. Oh man, yeah. So I might have done a podcast like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, and it was an open-ended question asking about, my just the people I worked with there. Because I'll be honest, there's personality difference between here and in Salt Lake, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. I worked with a lot of great people in Salt Lake, some really, really good people. And I might have, the way I was asked the question, I probably phrased it wrong, but I had come out and I had said that I didn't have a lot of friends at the other station. And one of those guys listened to the podcast. I didn't know he was going to. Well, supposedly he did. I think someone else told him what I said. Anyways, he was pretty upset. Still is kind of upset with me because I said I didn't have any friends at that station. So, yeah, my bad over there, Hans. I apologize. Hans is such a good dude, too, and I offended him, and he was not happy with me.
That's probably not a guy you want to offend. He's a big dude.
Oh, well,
He's just teddy bear.
Yeah, he is. He's a big teddy bear, and I think he was offended. But the thing is like, it's just a personality difference. Again, I remember I walked into a studio one time with a producer. There were 6 of us producing at the time, and I walked in with a producer, and one of the guys said, Ajay, this is a private conversation. He kicked me out, but not the other guy. And it was like I was a black sheep there because a lot of those guys had to intern when they got there. I didn't have to intern. I just immediately got paid when I got there. And so, I don't know, I kind of found myself as a black sheep of the family, if you will. And it was hard to fit in. It was really hard for me to fit in, but I had friends. I just phrased it the wrong way, and it came out bad, and I've been hearing about it since.
Do you feel like you have friends here?
The thing is that this place isn't about making friends. It's about doing your job and doing it right. That's all it's about.
So you don't want to make friends here? You don't have friends here? You're just refusing to answer the question. You're like, you artfully did not answer what I asked. It's interesting.
I am grateful for the opportunities I have here. 5452. I'll bet no one in SLC was as mean to you on air as Eric was. Yeah? Eric's a bully. No. Look. No. It was... Eric was a bully. Eric is a bully. But maybe... I think I got it more down there. Like... Hans would be like, all right, Scotty, I got to show you this. And he'd be showing me some, penalty or yellow card that a soccer player got. And he, example me as the guy who would have to be like, hey, stick your arms in the air. I'm going to come behind you and put you in the chicken wing, or something like that. They were never really bad to me down there. They were nice. Everybody's nice. Everybody's good people. Well, let's move on. 7706. This is varsity boys from the Valley High Schools. What about rugby? There is a high school rugby team called Cache Valley Pirates. We have a game this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Logan High School, but there will be 3 other rugby games played at the field that day. Come out and support high school rugby. All right,
wow,
get out.
Look at that.
Support high school rugby.
That's cool.
9315 sounds like he is passing the buck just like yesterday's show with the golf cart thing. Okay, no, I confessed, Eric. I did it.
You finally fessed up.
I did it.
You finally said it.
It doesn't matter when. It matters that I did.
Yes, you finally did.
I did it. You proud of me?
I am proud of you. It took a minute, but you came clean. You held up to your end of the bargain.
I can't tell you how gross I felt. I can't tell you how filthy I felt because you guys made me do that.
I didn't make you. I was just
next time you have a request for.
That's what all I was doing.
Next time you have a request for the AD, you're calling him. You're doing it, and then hopefully he make you do something next time. Hopefully it's on you. I shouldn't have to do it. That was painful. That was not healthy in any way. Because of you.
Because of me?
Yeah,
no, you're the one that made the deal. I was just trying to make sure you held up your end of the bargain.
He gave me no way out. You could have said, you know what, let's not have him do it. It is kind of sensitive to him right now. I'll do it. I'll do something.
You
could have done it. You could have stood up for me, Eric. You could have stood up for me. They would have down there.
Look, it was happening before I even knew what was going on. You had already agreed to terms before I even knew what was happening.
He asked you, and he asked you on the car, and you were like, oh, yeah, okay, he's going to do it. Man, that hurt. Didn't even look out for me. All right, let's go ahead and get to some sports again. Welcome to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, I'm Ajay Salvesen. We'll start with the Utah Jazz. Yeah, that Utah Jazz. A team that led by 18 after the first quarter. Start? It is. A team that led by 18 after the first quarter and only gave up 14 points in that first quarter. Led by 18 in the fourth, and then things went south. Oh, so very south. After leading by 18 in the fourth and as much as 25 in the game, the Utah Jazz fall to the LA Clippers 121-115. The Clippers improved to 2 games under 500, 37-39. They're 21-16 at home. Utah Jazz have now fell 45-31, 19-20 on the road. There are much more repercussions than that, though. Donovan Mitchell, who does have 33 on 12 of 21 shooting, was 0-4 from 3, 9-12 at the line, and one huge blunder at the end of the game, calling a timeout when they didn't have one. Mike Conley also finished with 19 points. He only had 3 assists in 33 minutes. Rudy Gobert had 9 points. He had 16 boards and 1 assist, I guess. He was 1 of 6 from the free throw line, 4-7 at the from the field. Herman Gomez had 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. Royce O'Neal 5 points, 2 of 7, 1 of 5. Eric Pascal was 1 of 2. Rudy Gay had 11 on 4 of 4 shooting. Monroe had 4 points. Jordan Clarkson was 6 of 15, 17 points. And on the other side, Paul George in his first game back in a long time, 34 points, 10 of 20 from the field, 8 of 11 from the line. He had 6 assists, 4 steals, 3 of them in the first quarter.
So much for a minutes restriction. The guy played 31 minutes.
Luke Kennard had 17 points, and Harlstein had 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting. Eric, it is time. I want you to know this is the bottom point for the Utah Jazz. This is rock bottom. 4781 text in. Hate to say it, but Donovan needs to be traded. He came into the game and screwed us in the clutch with not just a timeout situation.
Yeah, he had some really poor turnovers. He had some possessions that were just amazing. Awesome, the way he's able to create, able to score and finish around the rim, help his teammates. But then he had a couple of possessions like, what are you even doing? Like, what is happening here?
And the other thing to it is with that timeout, the ref looked at him and said, shook his head, said no, dude, you don't have one. He gave him a warning, yeah.
Tried to walk away, and Donovan's yelling at him.
And he's like, fine, okay. I'll give you it. And you get a tech, buddy. And you can see Quinn. And then the other thing is, why isn't Quinn yelling at Donovan? Donovan, no. Now, granted, they probably discussed that before the timeout or in the timeout, hey, we have no timeouts.
They challenged the Rudy Gobert offensive foul. They lost the challenge. That cost them a timeout. Maybe some of the guys didn't realize that was their final timeout, that they were all gone because of the challenge. I don't know, but that's something that should be clearly communicated.
Yeah, right. When you're in
the huddle,
when you're in that situation, yeah, exactly. When you're in that situation, you'd be saying, "Hey, we have no timeouts. Whoever is inbounding the ball, no timeouts, 0." 9938. Sell the Jazz to Vegas. End the suffering. Yes. You know what? I can tell you now, there are major changes coming to this organization, front office and team.
Did you also hear that, I'm not going to support your theory about them moving to Las Vegas, but did you hear that there is an investment group who just purchased 25 acres in Las Vegas with plans to do a $3 billion project that will include a 20,000-seat arena?
There you go.
Sports and entertainment district that they're going to create on 25 acres. But I'm not buying into the fact that you believe that there's any truth to the rumor that the Jazz would go to Las Vegas.
You're a great, loyal Jazz fan. I love that.
No, it's because Ryan Smith is a diehard, loyal Jazz fan.
Ryan Smith is changing what used to be the Utah Jazz. He is changing the what's it called? The face of the Jazz. The logo of the Jazz, the frontier of the Utah Jazz. It's being changed. Color scheme. I think they're going to change the team name. I think they're going to change the logo. It's all going to change. It is all going. It is leaving. And I think that if Las Vegas were to offer Ryan enough money to sell that team to Las Vegas, or at least that Ryan could still own the team and go to Las Vegas, I think Ryan takes it.
Now, the NBA would rather create a new team than move from an established franchise that's had a lot of success. Why in the world? That's just ridiculous.
Create a new team. They've had forever to do that, and they haven't done it.
Well, forever they couldn't do it.
Seattle's been begging for a team. Begging for a team to come back. And instead you give it to Las Vegas?
Well, I don't know why they would just do one off. They would probably add in multiple locations at the same time.
So I think Seattle and Las Vegas. I think Seattle will get a team back there in the near future. 9315, I think the Jazz are on track to nowhere real fast. How does a star not know that they have no timeouts? I think we see new things from Ryan Smith, but with all the new changes, the Jazz will stay in Salt Lake.
Yes, the Jazz are staying in Salt Lake. Interesting comments from Coach Quinn Snyder after the game. When the question was about the team's kind of mental fortitude, and are they mentally fragile? Because this is what was it, the 14th time the Jazz have given up a double-digit lead this season and lost. And Quinn Snyder said, we turned the ball over 8 times, I think, in the fourth quarter. We gave up, I want to say, 12, 14 second-chance points. Those are possessions we don't get a chance to score. That's 39 points around those two things. So that's what he wanted to focus on, is that just those few mental mistakes that occurred in the fourth quarter that really cost them possessions and opportunities. But this is I'm getting tired of saying it. It's a movie that we've seen too many times.
Yeah, and we saw this movie in the playoffs last year. If you remember that, remember without Kawhi and Leonard as well. 4474 text in. What's more heartbreaking about the Utah Jazz than their play is that they feel they need to make political statements and be a part of the woke culture. Good riddance, Jazz. See, and I guess some people don't like the changes of I guess not changes, but the voices being heard from the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell and such, of political things. Some say shut up and dribble, as they like to say, quote unquote.
Yeah, but I don't think it's been that bad. I don't think the Jazz have really gone on a ledge too much.
4781, if you move the Jazz out of Utah, you lose a lot of the fan base. Larry built this place, and a lot of people are tied to the Jazz due to him, not the actual team. And that is true. Problem is Larry has passed on. God rest his soul. Gail Miller has sold the team. Jazz are in the hands of Ryan Smith. New era. New ideas. New attitude from Ryan Smith. Times are moving, Eric. And this team,
surely
again,
yeah,
the
you got a new
logo's
young
changing.
owner with a lot
That
of money.
team is changing. I think this team will be on its way out. 7325.
No, they're not moving.
NBA ratings are not good. China keeps them in business. How are the ratings? I haven't even looked.
Ratings have been down for the NBA for a little bit. I thought there was a couple of games this year that showed that there were some signs of increase, but I'm not. Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know that they're moving up.
Looking at the rest of the NBA spread last night, the Lakers fall to the Dallas Mavericks 128-110 in a game that Lakers were never in the first place. No Davis, no LeBron. Dallas was up by 25 at one point, and unlike Utah, were able to hold on to that 25-point lead and win. Brooklyn beats Denver.
Well, before you move on, with that loss, the Lakers are now out of the playoffs.
Well, the Jazz are going to be out of the playoffs too.
Then there's LeBron James will not be making the trip.
He won't
play
be.
Tomorrow night.
Anthony
Davis is questionable. So, I mean, their record is tied with San Antonio, but the Spurs have the tiebreaker. So the Spurs are in that 10th spot for the play-in, and the Lakers are out.
Brooklyn beat Detroit 130-123. Chicago over Washington 107-94. Milwaukee gets by Philadelphia 118-116 on a great defensive play by Giannis Antetokounmpo on a block on Joel Embiid. Milwaukee still in the running for the number one spot of the Eastern Conference. Looking at the standings in the Eastern Conference, Miami, Milwaukee are separated by one game apiece. Boston also there at 47-29. Philadelphia now 46-29. Chicago at 5. Toronto 6. Cleveland 7. Brooklyn is in 8th at 40-36. And then the Western Conference, Phoenix, of course, well ahead of everybody else. 61-14 Suns. Memphis at number 2, 53-23. Golden State's 48-28. Dallas now 47-29. Jazz 2 games behind at 45-31. Denver is now tied with the Jazz at 45-31 as well. Minnesota, Clippers, New Orleans, and San Antonio round out the final 10. As you said, Lakers are out by 1 game.
Yeah, so Jazz are tied with the Nuggets record-wise, but the Jazz do have a tiebreaker, so they're still in that 5 spot. But looking forward, let's try to move past looking back at what happened last night because it's really frustrating. But looking forward, is there a potential playoff matchup that is better for the Jazz to be looking at and to be in? Is it better for the Jazz to face the Mavericks, or is it better for the Jazz to face the Warriors?
Mavericks. I don't want to touch the Warriors.
Warriors are faltering. They're limping into the playoffs.
They
and they're
don't
not
have
healthy.
anybody playing.
Right.
They'll be available for the first round.
I don't know that they will be.
Oh, they'll be.
I don't know that they'll be.
Steve Kerr is
100%.
intentionally holding them out to be available for the first round because, Eric, as us Jazz fans know, the regular season doesn't matter. The regular season does not matter. The playoffs do. Kerr knows this very, very well.
And is that part of the mentality of the Jazz this year, where we're frustrated, we want them to win every game? They're like, as long as we are not in the 7th spot, it doesn't matter. We're having a different mentality this year. Last year, regular season champs did nothing for us. Trying to win and have the best record overall didn't help us at all in the postseason.
What
so
in
let's
the
not
world
try to
are
kill
you
ourselves.
doing?
Let's make sure guys are healthy. They're resting guys. And so when they get to the playoffs, they'll be healthy and they'll be ready to go.
Eric,
Maybe
if
the
we're
Utah
worried
Jazz have
about
a different
guys being out
mentality
for the
now.
rest of until the playoffs, we have bigger problems on our hand. This team just blew a 25-point lead to the LA Clippers, a mirror image of last year's playoffs. They blew an 18-point lead in the 4th quarter to the Clippers. And Paul George, who hadn't played since the Civil War, it seemed like, comes back and puts up 34? I mean, come on. It's not about resting guys and not. It's about a team that is incredibly dysfunctional, not on the same page, and you've got guys who...
Right, there's no excuse for giving up a 25-point lead
And here's the other thing.
in the second half.
Dude, Andy Larson needs to chill. He's sitting there calling out guys left and right.
Well, one of the things that's surprising about that game last night for Utah and the LA, Paul George was positive in the plus-minus. Right, so when he was on the floor, he had an impact, a positive impact in the game. All the other starters had double-digit negative impacts on the game. It was the Clippers bench that really came through big for LA, and then the Jazz couldn't counter that. Yes, Bojan not available. It hurts spacing. It hurts not having another scorer to take some of the load. Yeah. Not having Hassan Whiteside available. So you got some guy on a 10-day contract who comes in and you're asking him to play 10 minutes. Not bad for what he did, but look, there's some realities here facing this Jazz squad. But it goes to this article that we talked about yesterday from Tony Jones. This is a team that unless everybody is in place and healthy, you take one little piece out, and the whole house of cards just collapses.
That's sad.
And they just have this late in the season. They've not figured that out. That's really frustrating.
Yeah, there you go. It's really sad. 5253. Donovan doesn't want to be here. Neither does anyone else. He's checked out. There's a deeper issue. There has to be something bigger than market that makes everyone miserable in Utah. Whatever that issue is, it needs to be brought to light and fixed if the team stays. Otherwise, there's no benefit to keeping them here. Yeah, and that's a good point. Like, if you got star players that are like, dude, I want out. I don't want to be here anymore. It's more than just team issue. Is it organization issues? Do we need to get rid of Justin Zanuck? Do we need to get rid of Danny Ainge? Do we need to get rid of Ryan Smith? Does he need to sell the team, step away because he's becoming too fanboyish and hands-on way too much?
Oh, heavens, he just bought the team. He's not going to walk away. And he's not...
Sell it.
Stop.
You're
with
ruining
anybody who
the
believes
team.
He's going to sell to
He's
Las
ruining
Vegas.
the team. He hired his
We've
best
seen
friend, Danny Ainge,
We've
to
seen
what?
this before where big-time money guys come in and buy a team and they're fanboys, and they think they can just spend money and get their favorites, and they don't listen to the guys that are doing the analytics and the scouting. So I don't know if that's what's going on in that front office. And sometimes it takes them a while to figure out, I really just need to trust the guys who are professionals at this.
I wish it was that easy for the Jazz, but for some reason it's not. 9315. What are the odds that the Jazz are in the play-in game?
Very, very low.
Well, I don't know. If you lose, well, yeah, you're right. They're low. With the seven,
there's still a chance. Yes, I mean they could slip behind the Nuggets, but they'd have to slip below the Timberwolves. And the Jazz are 2 games ahead of them with 7 games left.
Yeah.
So Jazz still have a tough schedule to finish out, but it's not real likely.
4781. I doubt Ryan Smith can move the team since the Millers still own 20% of the team, right? Yeah, I think there is some portion of the Millers percentage that is still in there. I don't know how to say this. Like, you can still own a percentage of the team, and the team can still be moved.
Well, yeah, it just, well, I don't know how they're structured, but
yeah, I mean,
the majority shareholders, if they're all in agreement, doesn't matter if you're a minority. In the minority, if you don't have that much power in your vote, and if their bylaws, unless it says it needs to be unanimous on a decision like this, then as long as you have the majority, then you can make those decisions.
8003. Locke brought up an info snack last night. 10 teams this season have come back from 20 points down to win. 4 of those games were by the Clippers. That's fun.
Yeah. Not pretty.
That's
not pretty for the Utah Jazz. Really, really frustrating.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more NBA basketball. We'll also talk some Utah State football. Get your guys' thoughts on what you're looking forward to when we get to the spring scrimmage coming up here. Is there one this Saturday or is it next Saturday?
It's next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we're hoping to have Coach E from Bonda on with us tomorrow. Afternoon. We're hoping. We're looking forward to that. So hopefully we'll have that and take care of it. We can talk some defense with Coach Bonda as well. All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back with more of the Full Court Press here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
This is The Herd.
The winner in this is also
Colin Cowherd.
the NFC North is an absolute mess. But this morning, I still think Green Bay has a decent shot, 10-1 odds to the Super Bowl. Chicago's in a rebuild. Detroit's got a goofy coach. Minnesota has a rookie coach. Who would the Packers face in the playoffs next year in the NFC that they'd be an underdog to?
This is The Herd. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Does your employer offer you 7 weeks of vacation each year? Do they offer 4-day weekends after 3 12-hour shifts? If not, you're working at the wrong place. This is Scotty with Homestead Cabinet in Hiram. You heard me right. 7 weeks vacation, 4-day weekends, 3-day work weeks. Homestead Cabinet in Hiram is the place to be. We need good, hard workers who are humble and curious to work in one of the most technologically advanced shops in the nation. If this is you, go to homesteadcabinet.net/careers and apply today.
It's time to vote for the Best of Northern Utah, presented by Campbell's Snacks, home of Pepperidge Farm.
Best of Northern Utah.
This is the contest every business hopes to win. So vote now and let your voice be heard. You can vote once per day, every day through March 30th at thebestofnorthernutah.com.
Best of Northern Utah.
Reward your favorite businesses in and around Cache Valley. Vote now in the 2022 Best of Northern Utah contest, presented by Campbell's Snacks, home of Pepperidge Farm.
Best of Northern Utah.
Spring is here. It's time to get your ride ready for the trails. Stop into Torque Motorsports.
Torque Motorsports.
To get your bike or side-by-side prepped for summer, Torque has over $20,000 in inventory, including tires, helmets, and accessories. If you have a side-by-side, road bike, dirt bike, or four-wheeler, go see Torque Motorsports.
Torque Motorsports.
They'll get you back on the trails faster. Torque Motorsports, 10th West, across from Maverick. Online at TorqueMotorsportsUtah.com.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Imagine the other team has an ace in their starting lineup. He's fast, relentless, and his field goal percentage is 73%. What's your team's defensive strategy against a player like that? Well, that player is ransomware. And in 2020, 73% of ransomware attackers succeeded in holding their victims' data hostage. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Full Court Press, I'm Ajay Salvesen, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan, 106.9thefan.com on a free mobile app. You can find it in any app store. And if you missed any of our past episodes, go to 106.9thefan.com, or again, you can go onto our mobile app and find those podcast interviews and more. Eric had to step out for just a few minutes. He'll be back for the 5 o'clock hour here. Don't forget that we have our spring sports now being broadcasted by the Cache Valley Media Group. Big thanks to the schools who allowed us to come out and be a part of their games and their facilities, using their facilities, allowing us to bring our equipment there. Currently, right now, Ridgeline leads Logan 7-0. You can find that game on 100.9 Light FM. Dave Simmons, Nick Zollinger is on that call right now. That's Ridgeline and Logan. Again, you can find the schedule on CacheValleyDaily.com for the spring sports schedule of what we're going to be broadcasting throughout the high school spring sports season. That includes Green Canyon and Mountain Crest tomorrow in soccer on 100.9 Light FM. John Newbold, Ajay Knight will be on the call. And then on April 1st, it's MC and Woods Cross in Boys Lacrosse, 7 p.m., same station with Ajay Knight. Again, you can find the schedule on CacheValleyDaily.com. We got softball, we got girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, baseball, got it all for you. We're going to take care of you during the sports spring season, including the state tournament. We'll make sure we get all the we'll try and get as many state tournament games on for you as possible to broadcast so you guys can hear those games, even if they're afar. You guys can turn on the radios and hear us here. And then don't forget the recaps, photo galleries, and recaps all up on CacheValleyDaily.com. All right, 5374. I don't understand why we are talking about selling the Jazz. They are a definite playoff team every year. The issue is having a star player in Donovan Mitchell that has never really wanted to be here. Shop him, and things could be fixed. But here's the problem, 5374, is that even if you shop him, you reset your franchise back 3 years. If you shop Gobert, you're still going to set your franchise in some ways. 3 years. I don't know which one gives you the bigger loss. At this point, I have no clue who gives you the bigger loss. Who gives you the more issue of having to replace Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert? They both bring value. Donovan Mitchell, I think he wanted to be here in the first place. I think things have kind of tailed away now. Whether it's team, whether it's management, whether it's coaching, I don't know. I'm not sure what's turned his mind off or has made Utah or even the Utah Jazz less attractive than when it was in 2015 or 16, whenever it was that he came here. I guess that'd be 2018, huh? I'm frustrated with Donovan for a myriad of reasons. Attitude, diva-like. Not knowing that we didn't have any time. How does a guy go to the baseline and inbound a ball and not know how many timeouts you have left? There was a challenge just before that. You lose that challenge, you're out of timeouts. So I would imagine either Alex Jensen or Coach Snyder says, hey, no timeouts left. We have no timeouts left. And Donovan either didn't hear it, didn't listen, or just forgot, which is crazy. Doesn't make any sense. 8003. Eric's gone? Finally! Okay. Let's love one another. All right. Eric's a good dude. He does some good things. He's a nice guy. All right. Let's try to be nice. I know it's hard, but we can do it. 5654. We should trade both and rebuild. It's not working. 5374. Mitchell could receive 2 firsts and a filling guy. Easy. Oh, man. Yeah. Let me ask you listeners, because I feel like I'm too biased. I'm too pessimistic about the Utah Jazz. I know, surprise, right? Let me ask you listeners. Who would you rather trade? Mitchell, Gobert, or both? Text in 435-339-0321. 5654 brought up the great point. Who would you rather trade? Mitchell, Gobert, or both? Those are your options. I think if the Jazz were to trade any of them, they need to look at value. What is the value that this guy could bring in? And I believe, honestly, I think 5374 is right. Mitchell brings in more value. You're going to get 2 first-round picks for Mitchell. You're probably going to get cash consideration, a draft pick, and maybe even, as 5374 puts it, a fill-in guy. But then what happens to your offense if he goes? The guy, look, does he have ball hog issues at times, at the wrong times? Absolutely he does. Certainly. But he's averaging 26 points a game. His PER is 22.05. He started in all 63 games that he's played, of course. He's averaging 4.5 boards, 5.5 assists. His turnovers are high at 3. Highest on the team, actually. So if you lose a guy who's giving you 26 a night, where do you get that offense? Because if you're going to rely on defense, which the Jazz have tried this experiment before, it has failed and failed miserably. Now you've got Gobert. Again, they'll just do the Gobert on an island kind of thing, right? Opposing teams will. Clippers especially. And they'll just torch Gobert left and right. Because nobody else can play defense for the Utah Jazz. No perimeter guy gives you good defense. Royce O'Neal is bad. Very, very bad right now. I don't even know why he's starting. You've got nobody else to give you defense. So you have no offense, and now you have no defense already. 9315. Is Eric following in Ajay's footsteps by taking the rest of the show off? No. Eric's had to go pick up his car, I think. I think his mommy went to, or not mommy, I think his, I don't know if his wife came and grabbed him or who. Or maybe the shuttle. Can you imagine Eric on a bus shuttling over to go pick up his car? All right, 8003 says we should trade Gobert. He wants the Jazz to ship out Gobert. 0251 says Mitchell, sadly. And you know what? Okay, so we did Donovan Mitchell, right? What if you trade Donovan Mitchell? Now, what if you trade Rudy Gobert? What do you lose if you trade Rudy Gobert? A guy right now averaging 15 points per game, 14 boards per game, 1 assist, under a steal, 2.5 blocks, almost 2 turnovers. By the way, his 2 turnovers are the second highest on the team. So Mitchell at 1, Rudy at 2. It's not great. But what do you lose if you trade Gobert? You lose inside presence. But I don't think that inside presence is as effective as it was 1, 2, maybe 3 years ago. In fact, last year, I felt like it was still effective. This year, whether it's the design of the defense, whether it's the perimeter guards, I don't know what it is. But Gobert's presence isn't as intimidating as it was, say, 2 years ago, when nobody dared touch the paint. Now it's, I'm going to go to the paint and I'm going to challenge Gobert. And either I'm going to get a foul call or I'm going to be on a highlight reel and people are going to be praising me for going up against Gobert. But sooner or later, teams are going to be like, you know what, let's just get him out into an island on the perimeter, shake, bake, go to the rim, get an easy bucket. Again, because there's nobody to guard the paint, because there's nobody good enough on defense to do it. 9315, Quinn, trade him. And you know what? As Coach Snyder ran his course in Utah, 6211 says get rid of Coach Snyder. Has Coach Snyder ran his course here? He's been here since what, you guys? 14? Am I right? 14 or 15? And there was major improvement at a very fast pace in the first 3 years that he was here. There was Coach of the Year conversation in his first 3 years that he was here. But now he's getting out-coached. He's getting out-schemed. Look, what Tyronn Lue did to him in last year's playoffs, after having a 2-0 lead on the Clippers, Coach Lue went back to the locker room, got on the whiteboard, raced everything that he had planned, made some adjustments, and then ran circles around Coach Snyder. So tell me, what happened? What happened to one of the smartest gurus in basketball who is now getting out-coached by some of the worst? Who's getting out-thought on the court? Who's getting out-strategized on the court? Did he not tell Donovan Mitchell that there was no timeouts? Did Donovan not know? Shouldn't the head coach communicate with him? 5374. Donovan is easier to replace than Gobert. Knicks would give RJ and picks. Rudy is one of a kind. You can't trade him. Man, okay, so this is the biggest stick that's being put on fire. Donovan to New York. Back home. I think his dad has some general management job with the Mets. Would New York be willing, I can't talk today, to give up RJ Barrett and picks for Donovan Mitchell? And when I say picks, I want at least one first round pick. I want at least one first. If the Jazz trade him, they've got to make it to the Eastern Conference, because if you allow Donovan to be traded to the Western Conference, A, your whole entire front office needs to be fired, and B, Donovan's going to stick 55 in your eye every single time he sees you. He's got to go to the East. RJ and picks, but I want those picks. I want 3, okay? I want 2 first, 1 ladder pick. That could be a second round pick, I should say, sorry. 2 first, 1 second for Donovan Mitchell. 6133 says we should trade Mitchell. And 5654 says, I think on our backcourt and wings are too small. They seem to be getting pushed around. That's true. Luka Doncic is getting whatever he wants at the rim because he's getting by our smaller backcourt. I absolutely agree. I think Klay Thompson can get what he wants with our guys. I know Ja Morant can get whatever he wants. Paul George is playing perimeter basketball versus our team because he knows he can beat Mike Conley, Royce O'Neal, Jordan Clarkson off the dribble. Guys, Paul George is like 50 on crutches, and he's beating our backcourt constantly. Getting to the rim, whatever he wants. It's bad. So maybe you convinced me. Maybe you do trade Mitchell. Sucks. But a guy averaging 26 a game with his diva-like mentality isn't doing it for us. All right, we got to take another break. Keep the text coming. 435-339-0321. Question: who would you rather trade, Donovan or Rudy, and give me a why? Full Court Press, 106.9 The Fan.
Keep it on the download. Here is the Dan Patrick Show. Seattle, remember Russ would say, hey, this is where I want to be. Pete Carroll says he's not going to be traded. One who's going. And we found out that it was going to be Russ. And Seattle knew this, that if Denver didn't get Aaron Rodgers, then they can make this trade. That's why it happened so quick.
Dan Patrick. The Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10 on Sports Talk Radio. 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. Inflation is having an effect on all of us. Let us help you increase your purchasing power. We offer scratch and dent appliances, which saves you up to 40% on nearly perfect appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and more. You will rest easy when you buy a scratch and dent appliance from Daryl's with our exclusive full 2-year warranty. Easy financing available, and don't forget our service department backs every sale. Open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
Since 1896, couples throughout Utah have shopped S.E. Needham Jewelers for their diamond engagement ring. We offer our integrity price guarantee on a beautiful selection of unique, high-quality diamond engagement rings. Gals, you'll love our rings, and guys, you'll love our prices. We price our diamonds at internet pricing. Review the web and come see, hands-on, our beautiful selection. Shop and compare. Get S.E. Needham quality at internet pricing, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance. Looking forward to turning 65, but the mail and the phone calls can drive you crazy. We can help. If you're considering working until full retirement age, let us compare your employer coverage to Medicare. You have choices. We will provide you with the information and assistance you need. Call 752-9493. Having a local agent makes all the difference, and there's no cost to you. Call 752-9493 or visit us at lssins.com.
The new year isn't the only thing we're celebrating here at Alpine Home Medical. This year marks our 25th anniversary, and we couldn't be happier to serve you. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. If you haven't shopped with us, we'd love for you to make us your one-stop shop for any of your home medical needs. They're always changing, so please don't hesitate to stop by any of our 10 locations throughout Utah and southern Idaho.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Or online at alpinehomemedical.com.
The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools, the full court press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Full court press, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan. 1069thefan.com. Talking Utah Jazz basketball here in the first hour. 2409. I thought Ajay said the Jazz were moving to Vegas and nobody has to worry about who to trade. But yeah, but that move ain't coming for 2 to 3 years. Maybe 2 years. 8739. If you get rid of Mitchell, Gobert, and Quinn, get rid of everyone and start from scratch. Take a 3-year hit across the board. Do you remember when we took that 3-year hit, I guess somewhat accidentally, when we played, when Jerry Sloan left, and in fact, let me ask you this. Sorry, I'll finish my thought and then I'll ask you. But it was an accidental 3-year hit. Well, actually, it felt like a 5-year hit. When Jerry Sloan retired, Darren Williams was traded, Carlos Boozer was gone, Kyle Korver left shortly after. And then we had Tyrone Corbin come in. And I think everybody who's a smart Jazz fan, which includes all you wonderful listeners, knew that we were in for a very rough stretch, right? When Tyrone Corbin was hired, I think you and I both knew that Jazz were in for an incredibly rough time. So my question to you now is, are you willing to go through that again to try and build this team up? Are you willing to go through another 3-4 year stretch of low ball basketball, low quality basketball, with no playoffs, to try and build this team back to where it should be, where we want it to be as Jazz fans? And how long do you give it before you say, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, I'm washing my hands of this, I no longer want to be a fan of this organization? What was a lower time for you? Right now, where this Jazz team can't figure their own crap out, or when Tyrone Corbin was the coach of the Utah Jazz and we were a below/mid 500 team? Because I feel like I would rather be a mid 500 team than getting embarrassed by other playoff, or not even playoff teams. They're not even playoff teams. Clippers are on the fringe of the playoffs. I guess they're still in it, but they're not. I mean, they're just as fringe as the Lakers are. Is this as low as we've had it since Tyrone Corbin? Because I'm worried. I'm honest to heaven worried about the Utah Jazz. And I feel like we are heading at Mach 9 hair on fire pace towards the Tyrone Corbin years again. Quinn's going to leave. Donovan's gone, as is Rudy. Then what? I don't know what you do. Do you trade Jordan Clarkson at that point? Right? What 8739 said? Just trade everyone. Hit the reset button. Let's try it again. 5654. Trade Mitchell for Davis. It's not a bad idea. Why not? At this point, I would trade him. I'd take Anthony Davis. I would. I know it's crazy. For Mitchell, I'd take Anthony Davis. That's where I'm at with this Jazz team right now. And I think the other concerning part about it, you guys, is some of these losses are just unexplainable. Like last night, being up 25 and then 18 in the fourth and still losing. I can't explain that to you. I don't know what to tell you. You've got, let's see here, you've got 4 guys playing 30-plus minutes. Mike Conley's on the fringe of that at 28. Jordan Clarkson, who's been one of your worst off-the-bench guys so far in the last 2 weeks in the plus-minus, is playing 27. You have one guy averaging over 20-plus points. That's Donovan. Bogey's at 18. Jordan's at 16. Rudy's at 15. $5860. Eric leaves for 30 minutes and Ajay wants to burn the house down. I do. 2648. Don't do anything. Be a true fan. Come on, Ajay. I'm trying. Guys, I really am trying to be a fan. I'm trying to stick with this Jazz team, but man, it's hard. It's so frustrating. I'm trying. I really am trying, but I don't know if I can do it. I'm so sick of this. Same crap every year, you guys. Same garbage from this team every year. All right, we got to take our final break of the first hour. Don't forget, though, when you go to Napa Auto Parts, you're getting the very best. From Preston to Providence, 5 local stores. Need a new battery, wiper blades? When you pull into one of the 5 Napa Auto Parts stores, they'll not only make sure you get the right battery or wiper blades, but they'll also help you install it as well. They are ASE certified technicians. Go to Napa Auto Parts, get taken care of. They sponsor Above the Noise with Dan Patrick. We'll get to that here in just a couple minutes. Let's take a break. Final break of the first hour. We'll come back on the Full Court Press on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Cache Valley is absolutely beautiful. It's always fun to be outdoors. And now is the time to let the Allergy Clinic inside the Cache Valley Hospital help with venom testing for spring and summer. The Allergy Clinic offers testing and treatment to life-threatening stings from honeybees, yellow jackets, white-faced hornets, yellow hornets, and wasps. Independent physicians Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette offer Cache Valley a full-time allergy clinic in 2 locations, Providence and inside the Cache Valley Hospital. The Allergy Clinic accepts most insurances, including SelectMed. Call the Allergy Clinic at 753-7880, 753-7880.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money, simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Nate Lamson with Valley Office Systems. Did you know that Valley Office Systems is a local company with Utah ownership, and we are debt-free with 47 years of industry experience? Valley remains your safe and smart choice for document solutions and all things office. Visit valleyofficesystems.com.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Your picture
60 seconds left of the first hour of the Full Court Press. Thanks for joining us, however, wherever you're doing so on 106.9 The Fan.
I had to hurry back because I saw all the smoke coming from the building. Like, where's the fire? Well, it's here in the studio. Ajay is like setting everything on fire.
No, Eric, Hot
takes galore.
No, I'm getting rid of your fanboy takes, and I'm giving them a realistic view of the Utah Jazz. 5860 says, I feel your frustration, though. 9948, last night's game just solidifies how Mitchell is not a superstar. Yes, he scores 30 sometimes, but he takes 35 shots. He went away from being a team player and a leader. Eric, I'm not the only one. I'm helping these wonderful Jazz fans realize there's a realistic point of view, and we need to see it.
So you don't try to work on things and make them better. You just
we tried that for 4 years. It's not working.
He's still a young player. He's got time to get better and improve.
6391. Part of me wants to make excuses considering who the Jazz were missing. We'll get into that more later here. Coming up on the Full Court Press, second hour on its way. Above the Noise with Dan Patrick.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It's been a pretty tough season for the LA Lakers. LeBron James is one of the best players on the planet, and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook are two talented supporting pieces. But the team just hasn't been a good fit. And it's been reported Westbrook's return to LA is unlikely next year. But you probably already knew that if you looked at the team's record this season. And it's not all about Westbrook. Davis and James have missed time with injuries as well, and that's made it hard for the big three to gain any chemistry. And when you consider the questionable fit to begin with, the injury bug certainly didn't help this team trying to play together. LA's expensive roster is now currently out of the play-in tournament. That could serve as a valuable reminder for teams. A roster packed with all-star players may look great on paper, but that doesn't win you games. Each player has their own unique skill set. And if those skills don't match, winning a championship, well, that's pretty much out of the question. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. What is the ideal entertainment situation? The thrills of cinema mixed with all the comforts of home. Perfection that you can now own. Lovesac Sectionals with Stealth Tech. We're talking about the drama of Dolby Digital Surround Sound by Harman Kardon and the convenience of wireless charging, all seamlessly embedded inside the endlessly adaptable and infinitely cozy couches. Lovesac. SAC.com. Sectionals, the world's most adaptable couch, now with Lovesac Stealth Tech.